David's Requiem dedication. This is dedicated to a friend and former colleague who passed away in a brutal, head-on truck-to-truck crash, a crash that clearly demonstrates the raw power involved in such collisions, and that we are inviting onto our roads through driverless autonomous trucks, especially as powered by AI. For David, for Edgar, for others unnamed, for those still hauling against the tide, let this memory be the fermata, the sustained note that demands we rewrite the score before the next curtain falls. He didn't deserve what he got, and neither does anybody else. The Overture of Oblivion, a symphony of absolute force, the quiet power, Andante con moto, steady with motion. The highway stretches like a darkened concert hall, where the air itself vibrates with unspoken thunder. Before the first crash of cymbals, feel the instruments tuning in silence, the low, resonant hum of diesel hearts, the faint metallic whisper of tires kissing asphalt, the distant sigh of wind slipping over chrome. Here power sleeps in plain sight, coiled, patient, inevitable. Mass, the weight of authority. Picture the truck as a cathedral of steel on wheels, 80,000 pounds of iron bones, whether liquid cargo sloshing like a restless ocean inside its belly, or dirt, fuel tanks brimming with liquid fire. It rolls forward not with malice, but with the indifferent gravity of a glacier. Beside it, the sedan is a paper lantern, 4,000 pounds of aluminum skin and fragile glass, a fragile question drifting in the giant's wake. This is momentum in repose, the quiet promise that once awakened, nothing short of the earth itself can negotiate its path. Velocity, the multiplier. 60 miles per hour is no mere number. It is a whispered incantation that squares the horror. At that speed, the truck carries a hidden sun of kinetic energy, enough raw force to level a city block if unleashed. The air around it compresses into an invisible bowstring, drawn taut, waiting for the fatal pluck. The execution, allegro con brio, flowing with spirit and fire. Then comes the downbeat. Time fractures. The world narrows to a single merciless measure. The initial impact, fort, sustained force. Steel kisses steel in a heartbeat shorter than a gasp. 150 milliseconds of pure white-hot communion. Kinetic energy, the detonation, the reservoir bursts. Energy, immortal and insatiable, surges from the truck's core like lava from a cracked volcano. It cannot vanish. It must become something else. Heat, sound, ruin. Impulse, the sudden punch, a thunderclap compressed into a needle. The sedan's hood accordions inward with a sound like 1,000 aluminum cans crushed in God's fist. Inside, the driver's world tilts 90 degrees in an instant. Seatbelt bites flesh, airbag blooms like a poisonous flower, and the human frame, soft, warm, alive, meets a wall of physics that offers no compromise. Momentum transfer crescendo molto, building and growing with intensity. The symphony swells into a roaring chord that lasts 1, maybe 2 seconds, eternity in miniature. The orchestra of destruction. Listen, the high, tearing shriek of chassis steel peeling like birch bark, the crystalline rain of safety glass exploding outward in glittering arcs, the wet, hydraulic hiss of radiator fluid meeting red-hot engine block, the sudden, hollow whoosh of cabin air evacuating through a newborn canyon in the roof. Every note is a wound. The slamming of life, the occupant's body becomes percussion. Skull snaps back, then forward, whiplash at 40 Gs, cervical vertebrae popping like fresh kindling. Ribs fold inward, puncturing lungs that fill with blood in the space of a skipped heartbeat. The heart itself, that faithful drum, stutters, fibrillates, stops. A final silent scream carves itself into the face, eyes wide, mouth a perfect O, frozen mid-crescendo. Work, the crushing labor. The truck, unhurried, continues its sermon. It folds the sedan the way a careless hand crumples a love letter, roof to dashboard, dashboard to lap, lap to asphalt. Each inch of deformation is work performed, energy spent, structure surrendered, life extinguished. The settling, decrescendo y rallentando, softening and slowing to a halt. The final notes fade across the blacktop. Action. The conjoined wrecks slide as one, tires shredded, rims carving silver scars into the road. Sparks fountain like dying fireworks. The smell of scorched rubber and hot brake fluid hangs thick as incense. Physical manifestation. In under 3 seconds, the orchestra falls silent. What remains is a twisted sculpture. The truck's grills sneering through the sedan's corpse, steam rising from ruptured veins of coolant, a single child's sneaker lying pristine on the center line. The air itself seems bruised. The final law, coda lenta, slow, deliberate conclusion. Energy and momentum, twin deities of the physical world, sign their names in wreckage. They do not negotiate, do not pity, do not pause. The equation is elegant, merciless, 80,000 pounds times 60 miles per hour versus 80,000 pounds, or perhaps just 4,000 pounds. The sedan, or a truck, is the ink, the highway, the parchment. The outcome was written the moment the truck rolled onto the stage. This is not tragedy. This is physics conducting its requiem, and the only standing ovation is the hush of wind through a million shards of shattered glass. Nature and engineering and physics and life, engaged in a mutual ballet, and the hall of the highway is filled with spectators, all eyes, enraptured. David's Requiem, an echo in the symphony of loss. In the grand orchestra of the road, where the bass notes of diesel rumble and the high strings of wind whistle warnings, there comes a moment of profound silence, a pause where the music doesn't end but transforms. It's in this hush that I honor a man whose life was cut short not by fate's whim, but by the very forces we've been unraveling. The relentless rhythm of one more load, always one more load, the unseen pressures that bend good drivers toward breaking points, the systemic strains that turn highways into requiems. He was no stranger to this melody. A professional through and through, he drove with the steady hand of someone who knew the road's poetry and peril. He was the kind of driver who checked his rig twice, who saw the weight of his choices in every mile marker, who understood that trucking wasn't just a job. It was a pact with the machine, a dance with momentum that demanded respect. He took it seriously, perhaps more than most, logging hours with precision, hauling loads with care, always aware that behind the wheel, you're not just moving dirt or even water. You're carrying lives, yours, others, and the invisible threads of families waiting at home. Yet, on a day like any other, that pact shattered. Whether a rollover in the heart of downtown or the meeting of two big rigs, the truck tipping like a felled oak, its 80,000 pounds of steel and cargo twisting into a monument of what happens when the system's grind meets the road's unforgiving truth. It wasn't negligence or recklessness that claimed him. No, he was the antithesis of that. It was the echo of the industry we've dissected, the push for loads that never ends, the fatigue that creeps in like fog, the pressures that whisper, keep going, even when the body screams, stop. In a world where laws shield the corporation more than the driver, where at will becomes a guillotine and overtime a ghost, men like David become statistics not because they failed, but because the symphony played on without pausing for breath. I don't know the payout, if there was one, or if it came wrapped in the cold comfort of insurance forms and fine print. I never asked his family. That grief is theirs to carry, not mine to probe. But in the quiet aftermath, as the wreckage was towed away and the highway reopened like nothing had happened, I couldn't shake the injustice. Here was a man who embodied the best of us, diligent, dedicated, the kind of driver who'd double-clutch through a storm without complaint, and the system let him down. Not with malice, perhaps, but with indifference, the kind that classifies pay as commission to dodge overtime, that counts on silence to keep the loads rolling, that views a driver's life as just another variable in the equation of profit. This isn't about one company or one crash. It's the larger score, where surveillance capitalism conducts the chaos, orchestrated in autonomous, driverless trucks, regulated by artificial intelligence. ELDs, dashcams, telematics, every mile, every stop, every heartbeat, raw data turned into their gold mine. Dispatcher, insurer, tech giant, all watching. When the music turns tragic, when a rollover silences a voice forever, where's the algorithm for justice? Where's the payout for the family left with echoes? Where is the fix when an industry loses a craftsman? It's in this void that the horror resonates. Autonomous trucks loom on the horizon, 80,000 pounds of code and steel, promising efficiency but echoing the same indifference. No driver to feel the fatigue, no human hand to swerve from the edge, but who pays when the code airs? Who sings the Requiem then? David's death isn't a footnote. It's the coda to a movement we've all heard, and too many times to pretend we didn't. It whispers to every driver logging that extra hour, that extra load, always one more load. Every family waiting for the headlights to return. The road is a symphony, but the conductor doesn't care if the orchestra falls silent. So we must. Let's not let the quest for driverless trucks make this symphony of obliteration the new normal. Fade to black. This has been a man to be reckoned with, and you've been listening to Through the Eyes of, and presented by Outward Divergence. We hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you've already subscribed, thank you. Hit the notification bell and get notified of new uploads. Thank you for your time and support of my creative endeavors. Have a great day, and God bless you.